Right, sir. Are you Michael Trowbridge?
I am.
All right, I have four files here to deal with you on. One of them is an arraignment of a shoplifting charge. The other three are fines and costs. I'm going to do the arraignment first. In that matter, it's a file from 2023. The allegation in it is that on December 19th of 2023, you committed retail fraud, commonly known as shoplifting, from Walgreens in Otsego County. It's charged as a second or subsequent offense. So if convicted, you face up to 1 year in jail. You understand the charge and the maximum possible penalty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your rights include the right to an attorney. If you wanted one but could not afford one, I would appoint one for you, or you could proceed without an attorney. You have the right to a jury trial in this matter. If you wanted a trial but not a jury trial, you could request a bench trial. At that trial, the prosecutor would be required to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If the prosecutor could not do that, the matter would be dismissed. At that trial, you'd have the right to remain silent. And if you chose to remain silent, your silence could not be used against you. On the other hand, if you wanted to testify, you could. You'd have the right to have the court subpoena or order witnesses on your own behalf to be present, and you'd have the right to have you or an attorney ask questions of witnesses against you. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
As to an attorney, do you plan to hire your own, seek a court-appointed attorney, or proceed without one?
Proceed without one.
All right. Ms. Brooker, what is the people's position on this case?
Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to, he's got a number of files, so I'm just trying to, unless the court wants to arraign him on all of them and then.
Well, the other ones are just fines and costs that he owes.
Oh, okay.
The
Judge,
two
he does
charges
have
of-
he does have a criminal history, including larceny. He does have a number of assaultive offenses as well. He does have prior retail fraud convictions. And this was a somewhat low dollar amount as far as the restitution. The restitution is only going to be around $7, it looked like. So I would ask that the court, just given his history of failing to appear, impose some type of bond that he must post and not just do it as a PR bond, especially given his criminal history. He does have a number of past convictions for.
I'm not trying to bond out. I want to plead guilty today, so bond is not an issue. I would like to get this matter cleared up.
Okay. Is there any offer then on the table, Ms. Brooker?
There is not an offer on this one, Judge.
Okay. So, sir, knowing that you wish to plead guilty, it does carry, I'm not saying this would be the sentence, but it does carry a maximum possibility of 1 year in jail. You intend to plead guilty at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, before I do so, I'd like to state that I have stuff going on in other counties as well that I'm trying to get this cleared up so that I can go take care of them as well. And this larceny that she's talking about happened as a juvenile.
Hold on. That would come later. But let me ask you, do they have a hold on you at this jail so they transfer you to another county? Okay,
yes,
all right. Okay, but do you want to go ahead then with a guilty plea on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you'd raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, on the date in question, which was December 19th of the year 2023, did you take items or an item from Walgreens in Otsego County without paying for it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you do that intentionally?
No, Your Honor. The cashier actually handed me the cigarettes and accepted my money and then called the cops. So I did end up leaving the store without. Yeah, the cashier, it was a pack of cigarettes. I got a pack of cigarettes. The cashier handed me the cigarettes. I put them in my pocket that were behind the counter. She accepted my money and then asked me for my ID. I didn't have it on me. So then she threw a fit and I didn't even think she had already accepted my cash. So I had already had the cigarettes. I walked out of the store. When the cop showed up, I still had a brand new pack of cigarettes. It wasn't intentional, but I did leave the store without paying for them technically.
Did you said you gave the money?
Yes, the cashier took the money from me and then
Did she-
asked me after she had already taken.
I get it, but did she, after she asked that question, did she give you the money back?
Yes, but then she
Okay,
didn't even
all
say
right.
nothing about the cigarettes. She just said that she couldn't sell to me. Well, she had already handed them to me and I had already gave her the money, so I had them in my pocket. I
Okay.
didn't think, I just walked out.
Can I
Okay,
ask him a can I ask him a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Trowbridge, when you walked out with the cigarettes, did you also take the money back from her as well?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying is I did
Right.
I said that I left the store without paying technically,
Yeah,
but I
I-
did give her the money and she gave it back. I just
Okay.
had the cigarettes and I
I,
didn't
I
think because they
I
were already in
understand
my
what you're
pocket.
saying. I just have a question for Ms. Brooker now. You satisfied there's a factual basis?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, as am I with that. So I would accept the plea. Now we'll get to the other things, and Ms. Brooker, you had said some things before, but well, first of all, before I ask us to sentencing, Mr. Trowbridge, what county or counties have holds on you where they would transport you? Do you know?
Grand Traverse and Emmett.
And what are the charges you're facing there?
Retail frauds as well. And
Okay.
it's for fines and costs on a retail fraud from years ago. And the other one is a domestic case that happened years ago that I owe money for as well.
So in both cases, it's just fines and costs. It's not your awaiting
Yeah.
trial or something like that. Okay. And
Correct, Your Honor.
all right. Ms. Brooker, then as to sentencing,
I just note for the court again, according to our records, he has around 6 prior retail fraud convictions, a number of domestic violence convictions, a few R&O convictions, and some other traffic convictions.
What
I
does the
don't
domestic
think-
has to do with a
Hold-
retail
hold it.
fraud?
hold
I
it,
don't-
man, or sir, hold it, sir. Let her speak, then you'll get your chance.
I don't think based on his history, he would do well on probation. I would just ask the court to order the $7.41 to Walgreens for restitution, and I'd ask the court to just impose a jail sentence.
All right, sir, is there anything you wanted to say before I pass sentence?
Yeah, I get that I have like an extensive history, but she's like bringing a ton of stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with this case into it. Talking about prior domestics. I'm not here for a domestic. I'm here for retail fraud and fines and costs. And she's trying to mention larcenies that happened when I was 17 as a juvenile. So I don't see how she's able to clearly state something that happened as a juvenile over,
I don't know.
everybody.
Those are still things the court can consider. Obviously, the older something is, the less it gets considered. But you
Well,
have the
she's
two
saying
cases,
it's at
one
the
you
top of
mentioned,
her list.
Emmett
That was one of
County.
the first things she said.
Hold on. You mentioned a case in Emmett County you owe money on. When did that take place?
In 2017 or 18.
All right, I have 3 cases here that you owe money on. One's a retail fraud alleged to have taken place in February of 2020. No longer alleged, I guess, because there was a judgment of conviction. Another, that's a failure to stop after a collision, also in 2020. And a third case, that's driving on license suspended 2021. But there is one retail fraud here from about 3.5 or 4 years ago. Here's what I'm going to do. On the 3 cases that you owe fines and costs on, plus restitution, at least on one case, there was probably restitution, maybe on 2. I'm going to just dismiss any fines and costs. The restitution you'll still owe because I can't forgive that. Plus, there's about $125 on each case that I cannot forgive, but your amount will be significantly reduced on that. And you need to contact the court as soon as you're released from jail to make
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on, I'm not done yet. On the new case, Ms. Brooker, did you say $7.41
Correct.
was the restitution?
Yep.
All right, that would be assessed along with the crime victim fee of $75 and statewide judicial assessment of $50. Ordinarily, on this case, I would do fines and costs. I am going to sentence you to 30 days in jail with credit for time served. I just think given your record, given what we're dealing with, that's an appropriate sentence. As opposed to the full 1 year, that would be a possibility. All right, so you get credit for time served on this matter, and then other than what you owe, which is, like I say, significantly reduced, your obligations to the court would be completed. All right, so that does conclude these matters, sir. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.